Okay, meeting recording is live. We just had we didn't start late. We just had a bit of a discussion on construction robots, but I think we've got a new joiner, Leonardo. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Leonardo. You call me Leo. I work for Red Hat Automotive, but I'm also the technical representative of Red Hat in ROS. This is a particular topic of interest of mine. We're currently looking to supporting ROS, better support ROS in our platform, generally speaking, both on board and off board. So, and I'm here just to kind of learn, eventually share what we're doing on Red Hat side as well.
Great, it's good to have you. So we're focused on, I guess, cloud robotics, not necessarily ROS. In case I heard that wrong, did you say it's ROS or it's cloud robotics you're more interested in?
Well, I mean, we use ROS in order to do robotics with cloud robotics, but I'm also interested in, when I say ROS, more connect cloud robotics like infrastructure to like running robots that are using ROS. So it doesn't mean we're using ROS end to end per se.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, and we do use a lot of ROS just because I think it's kind of the default. It's everywhere, like it or not.
It formal standard, kind of. Anyway.
All right,
It's interesting
so
to have Red Hat here. We had obviously Canonical, and ROS uses supports Ubuntu as sort of the primary Linux distribution. Can you shed some light on what Red Hat's kind of position is in this? I'm actually not up to speed whether Red Hat is one of the supported platforms for ROS.
Yeah, I believe there is a tier 2 platform. In ROS, we worked with Open Robotics to add Fedora in there as well.
I see. And is there a real interest in becoming a tier 1?
Yeah, for Red Hat, yes.
Okay, yeah, good to know. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Okay, so we were working last time on updating questions for the State of Cloud Robotics survey. So I don't know if everyone here knows about it. So a couple of years ago, we released a survey, the State of Cloud Robotics survey. We got some good results. I'll send the link to what we found. Oh, good, it's on autocomplete. State of Cloud Robotics. So we got some charts. We found some good stuff out. Overall, I think that the biggest takeaway was that people wanted more documentation and best practices and so on. And we've kind of been looking at that. We try and record videos and get guest speakers and try and give that information to people. So 2 years later, it should have been 1 year, but we had stuff to talk about last year, I guess. 2 years later, we're going to release more questions, get some more data, find out if anything's changed, and just get another snapshot of the state of cloud robotics. So the Scratchpad we were working with, and feel free to edit directly, although we were screen sharing last time. Just sorting the screen share out. There we go. That's fine. So yes, last time we were working on this. We took a look through one of the questions that we had from the last survey was, are there any questions we missed? So we copied all those out and we had a bit of a look and added some ideas based on those responses. So from our original questions from last year, plus the suggested questions from last year, we've gotten down to this set of refined questions so far. And I don't remember if we had all the refined questions and we were going to refine them or if we were still adding to them.
I'm trying to remember too. But I do remember that we felt that we weren't done yet.
Yes.
But yeah. I don't know what it was that we weren't done with. yet. It also looks like, did you clean them up a little bit after the meeting?
No, I didn't.
Really? It looks pretty clean. I thought we were sort of sketching when we were.
We were. I think I cleaned this up to this extent in the meeting, and I think this is the original questions plus some of our notes, but it doesn't have any of our suggested questions in. I think that's the stage we got to. So I think we were about to add all the questions in that were suggested by survey participants, and then we could clean it up, refine it, group things together properly. And hopefully by the end of this session, we'll be able to create that new survey and send it out. So easiest thing to do, I think, is to quickly read through what we've got so far, and then we can get to work.
That's good.
Okay, so questions from last year. What's the largest number of robots you've worked with? That was to get an idea of what kind of experience the respondent had. Issues you encountered that you tried to solve using the cloud. And we gave specific examples like collecting fleet data, so an application area. In which of the following use cases did you incorporate the cloud? And I'm not sharing the tab, but I do have some of the responses. So, for example, development, deployment, operating a fleet, collecting fleet data. What would help you the most with implementing your cloud solutions? And this was more libraries, frameworks, better integration for tools, better documentation. Those are the kind of responses we had. Any cloud technologies or resources that you use and would recommend, which was an open question, free response. Do you have any other comments? What other questions would you like to be included, and are you willing to be contacted? Then we went through suggested questions. Some of them we just wiped out, and some of them we thought were quite good. So which technical paths didn't work out well when moving to the cloud? And there was a bit of a... I said something about pitfalls, about how maybe it's a colloquialism. I don't think that's true anymore. I think it's fine. So what pitfalls did you encounter when moving to the cloud? Might be quite a good question as well. Then we had... I had a thought... So please share best practices. Made me think, well, we are trying to do that, so maybe we can ask about how well we're doing it. And that's already turned into which resources are you aware of? So we can ask people, how can we do more, and which of these are you aware of already? That doesn't mean that they're necessarily using them, it's just, do you know they exist? So I think this is already kind of done. Then we've got business scenarios, blocking issues or challenges. What business need are you solving with Cloud Robotics? So instead of technical paths, it's business case, I guess. Architecture and use case related questions. So Cloud Robotics can be many things to different people. What do you see it as, with optional context? And then this one was... you might want to distinguish between developers, robotics developers and tooling developers. What is your role, robot, tooling, web, other? We thought might be a good question. So this is, again, getting information about the respondent. And I think we started at that point to think maybe we should start to group these into what's the survey respondent doing with Cloud Robotics, then, or rather what's their experience, and then what they're doing, and then Cloud Robotics in general. So yeah.
As we're going through this, I realize, like you point out, we have already tackled some of them. Should we somehow mark them? You crossed out some, or one at least, which I think meant we didn't want to. I don't know how to mark it, but somehow I feel like we should mark the ones that we've already taken care of, because we've done some of them already.
I think crossing out is fine. So let's say this is done with. You gave me the shortcut last time.
I think it was Shift Alt 5.
Shift Alt 5. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a terrible shortcut, but yes, that's the one.
What? Now I want to know what Shift Alt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just starts at 5. Shift Alt 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't do anything.
Yeah, it's just that one. Someone made it up, and it's terrible because it's not related to any other shortcut you would think of.
It'd make a bit more sense if it was 1 for bold, 2 for italic, 3 for underline. But no. Okay. That's fine.
No, it's Control B for bold, Control I for italics, and then not Control U for, or Control S for, I guess Control S is sort of a safe kind of thing, so you can't use that for strike through. But Control Shift S would have worked. Anyways, not our problem. Sorry, there was one other. Oh yeah, what's your role, Robot Tooling Web? I think we've taken care of that because it's in refined question 1D.
1D. What is your role within the company? You are right. Oh, I did Control Alt 5, which apparently makes it grey. Okay, question 6 we're looking at is there best practice to deploy multiple robots in a big robotics company? And if yes, what are they? We did have a few questions from the survey respondents that sounded like requests for information from us rather than questions we should put in the survey. It just reads like to me, but I think we can get a good question out of it. So it could be, how do you manage deployment? Like, how do you bundle it? How do you distribute it, version it, roll it back?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to get that suggested question, even though it's not a suggested question, it's a question, right? It's just a question to us, but that's exactly what we kind of want to hear, and it suggests what kind of speakers and information we should put out. We may not have to do anything with this for the next survey. It's more of a sort of a suggested homework for us on what to cover. I guess this is generally deployment. Do we have deployment on our sort of master list after logging and observability? I forget.
I think, I don't remember.
I don't remember either. We haven't looked at. We have been in that logging and observability for so long.
Yes, we have. It's somewhere down. I'll look it up at some point. I'll look it up before next session so that we can check the list. But this could be a good question to go under what you're doing. So, are you already deploying Cloud Robotics? If so, how? Tick one or more of these technologies. Tick which features of these you have and use. Could be something like that.
Oh yeah, checkboxes. Yeah, that's true. That's always easy for people to go through it and check off.
Okay, and then the last question was, what tools and frameworks are others using for deployment and configuration of robot fleets? I guess we have a bit about deployment now. I wonder about configuration. Yeah. Are you currently remotely configuring using the cloud? If so, which of these are you using?
I don't think it's the cloud. Oh, using the cloud. Never mind. Sorry.
UBedge. Transitive.
It's the word cloud is sort of unnecessary there, right? Because remote configuration is somehow through the internet anyways, whether or not the... Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
That was crazy. How did I manage that? Robot continue.
Maybe also doesn't Balena also help with that kind of stuff? Some people still
I guess
mention
Balena is... IoT is kind of too broad a term, isn't it? Because there's so many different IoT
Greengrass
offerings.
and Balena are all IoT. So maybe those. What do other people mention on Balena? Well, I guess we should say other and like have a freeform field in case they have. Oh, and of course the obligatory custom self-made, I don't know how to phrase it, but like a custom solution built in-house. Good. Then we can check off number 7.
Okay, so let's go back. Pitfalls did you encounter while moving to the cloud?
Yeah, we don't have that yet, do we?
No, we've not copied it down. Does that fit in C?
I think so. I would put it underneath though after the, because it's sort of the pitfalls is logically coming after what you have been doing. So imagine somebody says Docker and Kubedge, and then one of the pitfalls is, well, I misconfigured Docker or something like that. You know what I mean? Like D is more context and, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you encounter moving to the cloud?
Yeah, that seems good.
Plus free text is usually better at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is...
The business scenarios would obviously fit under the first one. Do we already have anything? I guess we have application you're solving. What industry do you work in? Yeah. Is that the business scenario? Industry, what am I asking? I guess that is the one, right? What application are you solving? Should we be specific and say what real world application you're solving so people don't misunderstand it as which kind of software application? Like, we don't want them to misunderstand that to mean deployment or configuration or something like that within the robot, but more like to make clear that we're talking about what the robot does. Or is this already clear?
Real world application. I'm not sure. I guess real world application could mean, oh, we're deploying using the cloud, or we're simulating using the cloud, versus our robot is doing a thing, our robot is constructing. And I think either of those answers could be to this question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence, but I think either way would be fine. We don't. If you think it's cleaner without that real world, I think it's
just as ambiguous as without the real world.
Okay.
So I think there's just room for improvement still, basically. Maybe technical application or...
Why do we have the /tool? I don't remember. With your robot /tool. Is it because some people don't think of their robot as a robot, or?
I think it's if there's tooling developers within a robotics company.
Yeah, I think that was separating the robot application versus the what are you building using the cloud.
Then I think they belong in separate questions because we don't want ambiguity to the people to whom the answer is not ambiguous. You know what I mean? If I'm a person who's responding from, we still want to know, even if you're a tooling maker, we would still like to know what does your company actually do with the robots, right? Just like you, Phil, pointed out earlier, that the needs for cloud robotics is very different in construction than elsewhere. We would still like to know, well, we are in construction, and here are our cloud needs. So maybe we make them two separate ones.
That makes sense. So what industry do you work in, I guess is?
That is, yeah, but that is just, construction, ag tech, hospitality. But then the actual application can be very different.
I guess we can just give an example.
You mean an example to kind of ground the question? Is that what you think? Okay. Well, for instance, outdoor delivery, dry well finishing, strawberry picking, data collection, inspection, security. What else do robots do?
I think one is probably good.
Okay.
And then you were saying a separate question for the tool version of it?
I think I'm not sure that the tool question is so important.
Are you thinking maybe just remove tool? So just get rid of these?
Well, yeah. And before I forget, if 1B, we need to make that list longer or add other. So we're not suggesting that there's only 3 industries. Oh, okay, you had sorry, I didn't notice that. Yeah, thanks. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine.
I think this becomes you and your experience, what you do, and then more what your company does. So take that order.
That sounds good. That takes care of the business scenario. I don't know what we meant by blocking issues or challenges, but I think that's just separate. We did have a few above the suggested questions. We had a few that we were blipping out. One of them was the one that I mentioned about make versus buy. I still kind of want to understand that. But I don't know how to ask the question. What I really want to get at is, do you tend to build everything in-house? Or how do you decide between make versus buy? What's your company's philosophy of owning the entire stack versus focusing? But I don't know how to ask that question.
How much do you trust third parties?
It's a way to ask it, but it's a little too general because I bet you most people would say depends. Depends on the party, right? Everybody uses GitHub, and now we're all learning, well, maybe I shouldn't trust GitHub. And yeah,
I feel like the response for most people to this would be, I look at the options, I see what the pros and cons are, including cost, and then make a decision. And so the thing we're getting at is where on the spectrum of how important is it that you know the technology inside out and trust it?
That's definitely one. I guess the other part of this question is where do you look for resources? How do you even find out about what's out there, right? Like I feel like one thing that happens a lot in, let's call it cloud robotics, or at least part of that on the fleet management side that I know fairly well, is that there's a lot of robotics companies go through the same motions and they fall into the same pitfalls, for lack of a better word. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that there just aren't that many people who know cloud robotics. There's a lot of people who learn robotics in university, and then they graduate and they take a robotics job, but they don't know web and cloud. And then there's, of course, a lot of web and cloud developers, but they don't typically know robotics. And so at every single robotics company I've worked at, there was this sort of, not conflict, but it was sort of a somewhat two islands of people who didn't speak the same language, like literally not using the same programming language, and also not understanding the issues that the others had to deal with and where their experience came in, right? The roboticists wouldn't know what's difficult about cloud and web people didn't know what's difficult about robots. And also, a lot of people, because there's nobody with a big picture view, a lot of people did not know that there are even third-party solutions out there for some of these problems, and so they end up building them themselves. Because the cloud and web people, they go like, "Oh yeah, I know how to do this. I'm going to build a REST API and I'm going to deploy it on the robot." Great, right? No, it's not. But you don't have big enough of a picture yet to understand why that is a problem, and you don't know that other people have thought about this and spend time developing tools, open source and otherwise, to solve that. I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I'm not making a lot of sense. It's not so much a question. It's more of a desire that I have for a community of people. Like really, this community should be more populated. There's so many robotics companies out there that do some form of cloud robotics. And where are they? They're not here. They're not asking questions. And then when they come here, they often go like, "Oh, wow, you guys exist? Well, that's useful. I wish I had known," right? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is more, I'm thinking out loud, obviously, but maybe this is more along the lines of what you were trying to get at, Mike, too, which was, how are we doing as a cloud robotics working group, community group, whatever? Are we solving the right problems? Are we providing the right resources? Do you even know we exist? Maybe that's the main question. Maybe that is really the main question that I want to get at. Without sounding like, "Damn it, people, you should come. Why don't you come?"
It sounds like it's overlapping, but not quite the same.
Do we?
I agree that it's not quite the same. And Christian, there's a lot of similar things with, we'll say, the DevOps side and the robotics. What you learn in robots in school is a lot of, I would say, hack together stuff to get the application running. The integration it's done to pass your course, and it's not done in a way that is sustainable. And that's a different way of designing things. And I can see it being the same with cloud and web. It's a different way of designing. And you don't know that till you failed, usually, because you think, "Oh, it's so easy."
That's right.
And
yeah, it's and the problem is that most people are blind to the 99%, right? They think that it worked 10 out of 20 times, or whatever, maybe even 10 out of 11 times. So I've solved the problem, and they don't realize that the hard part is to get from 90 to 99%, and that may completely change the stack. And yeah.
What I'm thinking now
but
is
to bring it back. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Phil.
All right. Well, one thing I would say to bring it back, the make versus buy is really important. And I think people choose make because they don't know what they can buy. And maybe that's what you're asking for. What is the barrier to buying the solution for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because really, if you're focused on the end application, you should not be getting into the details of your cloud system or your DevOps system. It should support your team building your robot to do stuff. So yeah, like what's keeping you from buying, a cloud deployment system? And it could be, hey, we operate in a position where we need high trust in everything, so we have to roll our own.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say most places that's not the case. They just need something.
And the truth is that everybody uses open source, right? At one level, it's all open source. Like it becomes all open source at the bottom level. And so you don't own the entire stack. The question is just, what level of abstraction? I actually think it's a lot to do with what kind of libraries are you familiar with, right? Like when people, without thinking, install, Express.js to host their REST API or whatever, they wouldn't say that this is make versus buy. No, it's just, of course, we use Express, but we're still making everything ourselves, right? That's how they think about it. But of course not, right? Like they didn't build their own web server, nor should they. And then there's other tools that they're unaware of. So where do we fit this? Is this, would that fit under 2 somehow? Or maybe actually under 3, how to do CR generally. Yeah, I think that would fit better there.
The other challenge while you're organizing this, Mike, that with all of the LLM stuff in the last 2 years that's really taken off, there's a lot more, I'd say, willingness to roll your own because, I just use an LLM and now I have a web server. And maybe, it has to have good things to have built its knowledge around. And I don't know, there's enough products out there doing that cloud stuff that it would give you what you want.
I think it's exactly the same problem as the one that I described with cloud and web people coming into robotics companies thinking they know the answer when in reality they don't understand the problem. The LLM will give you an answer and it will sound very confident, as we all know, but it shouldn't because it doesn't actually know enough. And part of that is because what it was trained on, the internet, does not have a lot of resources on that matter, right? So I'm pretty sure it will happily suggest that you put like, to stay with that example, a REST API on your robot to get data of it and then poll it. And that may just not be the best idea. I think the real downside with LLMs are very good, as we all know, when you're doing in-band, when you're asking for questions that were in-band for the training, meaning like, but if you want to push the envelope on something new, by definition, it cannot be something that the LLM can already tell you, because otherwise it was just a discovery of someone who has already done it at a certain level of abstraction, right? But your comment is still very true. Because of AI, even more people think that they can just roll their own. I think this is coming together nicely.
I think with from the refining, I think it's already roughly in the right order and categories. I think it might just be a case of, well, we've got 2 questions that haven't been crossed through yet, but the rest of it is just making sure we've got our lists filled out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what business need? I think we just tackled that, didn't we? We just put that into, or
yeah, we did. The business scenario, what we didn't tackle explicitly was blocking issues or challenges. And I'm not sure what was meant by that.
I guess what stopped you from moving to the cloud?
Maybe, yeah, that would be good. Do we have, that would fall under 3. Well, I guess there which technical path didn't work out?
I think that does cover it, doesn't it? Because you can say,
yeah,
this issue was so bad that we gave up.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, the second item especially, right? Which approach didn't work out well when moving to the cloud, and that sort of answers the challenge. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. These are kind of 2 different questions, actually. This is meant to be 3 different attempts at wording this question.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I'm
just going to write that in red so we know it needs looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, but if we find a way to crystallize that, even the way it is, I think is fine. Maybe it's too verbal. Maybe it's asking too much of the too many freeform questions will just lead to no answers. But content-wise, it seems correct to me.
So, what pitfalls did you encounter? Which approach didn't work out well when moving to the cloud? Done.
I think that's good. Yeah. Making good progress here. And then the only one not crossed out is that some architecture use case related questions. Oh yeah, that question is that one would be good. We had a version of that in the first survey, right? Where we basically asked for what do you use Cloud Robotics? Don't we have something like that?
We've got in which of the following use cases did you incorporate the cloud?
Yeah, that's good. And then we still need, when we say the following, then we need the following. So maybe we'll just move that list from above.
Yeah, you might need to add model training or model inference.
Oh yeah, good one. But I think you wanted to put that under 2B, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, initially, I just forgot what I had in the clipboard, but yes. What do you see Cloud Robotics as?
Yeah, I think that's it. B and C are basically the same question, just differently worded.
Which of the following use cases did you incorporate the cloud? Development, deployment, operating a fleet. I mean, we've already got.
Oh, A is also similar. Oh, wait, now I'm confused. How are A, B, and C? Oh, I see. Okay, thank you. That list helps. Yeah. Sorry, explain the difference between A and B to me. Or A and C, rather.
I'm not sure there is one. So A is what issues did you encounter that you tried to solve using the cloud?
Actually, collect the example that we have there. Collecting fleet data shows up under B. Maybe we were thinking of the same. Maybe those were just two attempts at getting at the same question.
Well, funnily enough, we've got this in our write-up. In hindsight, this question should have probably been formulated more clearly, as some of the answers mentioned issues with cloud robotics solutions rather than issues to be solved by cloud robotics. So maybe the question is, what do you see cloud robotics as? And the answer is these.
Yeah, there's some overlap, right?
We've already got offloading computation, real-time compute offload, fleet management. We've got data collection. Yeah, fleet management, development. I think that's missing from this list.
So would it then, are you thinking that we can, with the new addition that you put under A, just drop B and C entirely? Is that what you're thinking?
I'm thinking that we replace A with C because we found that people didn't give or people didn't understand A as we intended.
Yeah.
So maybe C is a better wording of it.
Sounds good to me. Oh, what happened?
I did a big cut.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you see Cloud Robotics as, and which of the following use cases do you use it? I mean, this is multiple checkbox, right?
We have a little bit of the development shows up in both. A and B?
Yes. I guess it's kind of the list is should basically be the same because it's what do you think comes under cloud robotics and what do you use it for?
Oh, I see. Yeah. One is the sort of the notion of, and the other one is what and what do you actually do? How do you
Yeah.
actually well, in that case, we could simplify it if we literally make it the same. I don't know whether in Google Forms you are able to have like these tables where the rows stay the same and then you have multiple columns. One is what do you think of it, and one is which of those do you use? In some ways, what do you see cloud robotics as? In some ways is funny, especially in the context of B, right? Because in some ways, people don't care about what cloud robotics means. They just care about what it can do for them. You know what I mean? I suspect if I had to guess, there would be a very high correlation between what people say for A and for B, meaning that they will only check the ones in A that they also use in B.
Yeah. I think it's maybe not clear. So maybe what we should do is make sure this entire list is incorporated in this list and just keep B.
I think so. Right, that might make sense, yeah.
So what do you use cloud robotics for? Development, deployment, operating fleet, collecting fleet data. I mean, maybe we can just have this as data collection and storage. And that's gone. Development's already there. Operating a fleet, let's replace that. Connectivity, networking. I guess that's...
I'm not sure why the cloud helps with that, because you need connectivity to use the cloud. Is it?
I guess it's connecting your robots together on different
like
sites and so on.
Like VPN kind of stuff?
VPN, yeah.
I see. Okay.
It's like sharing data across sites where you don't have the same LAN, something like that.
I see. Okay.
I mean, if no one ticks it, then that's a good
whatever. But I think we
itself.
should include model training and inference explicitly, because obviously it's one of the big changes, and I think it was a good call out.
Interoperability. Real-time compute offload is another one that isn't there. So let's just... Okay. This is fine. Pretext. Rollback canary testing. Specify. Cover. DCR. What pitfalls did you encounter while moving to the cloud? Got this twice. Where does that belong?
Good question. I guess 2 and 3 are starting to look similar, which doesn't mean that they're duplicating each other, but maybe it's the same category.
It could be the same category, but then do we want different categories? Do we want to break these questions down into multiple categories, or are we happy with them just being?
Yeah. Either way, I think pitfalls can go into either. It doesn't strike me as being particularly... Well, I guess the first one is literally what you are doing.
I like it in the third bullet just because the first, or number 2, is like all checkboxes.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And it's just checkbox, checkbox, checkbox. And then number 3 would be free response type.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. text.
3D seems a little bit of a duplicate of 2B now.
3D of 2B.
No, 3E, the last one, which cloud technologies and resources. Well, at least the cloud technologies is duplicated, not the resources. Resources might still be a good question. But the technologies, that long list with Docker, Qubit, I guess that's specifically for deployment. Never mind. There's a little bit of duplication, but maybe it's okay to have that. I guess we can say any other cloud technologies or resources. And it's a little more.
That completely removes the overlap. I like that. This is checkbox. This is free text. This is free text. How can the CRWG help more? I think this is probably better here. But instead of that question, something like, are there any other resources? Are there any other resources you would like the CRWG to provide? That would be a free text. There are any? Yeah. What do you think about that as a reword?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Do you have any other comments? Is also free text. This is checkbox. So we don't have any radio boxes really. Radio buttons, boxes. What other questions would you like to be included? That's fine. Okay, so we've only got a few minutes left, but we also only have one outstanding thing, I think, which is to fill out this list. So let's name some industries.
Construction, hospitality, logistics, manufacturing, medical. Oh, you already have medicine. Okay.
I think you say medical is probably better. Medical.
Yeah, manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Search and rescue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Security, inspection. I'm not sure whether that might be, inspection in construction or whatever, but I think it's also okay to call it out because
I think they're separate enough.
Yeah. For some, yeah, definitely.
You might also want to put defense in there, but
oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's a big one. Hospitality.
It just occurred to me, we don't have any way for people to point out what kind of robot they're even talking about, especially whether it's a drone, a water-based vessel, or a wheeled ground robot, or a manipulation robot.
Hey, but it doesn't matter.
Well, it
We're
doesn't
just using the cloud.
Yeah, no, just for what's the term for cohort analysis, right? Where because stationary robots have very different needs. They have different connectivity profiles. Underwater robots, talk about the cloud. They are happy when they get 100 baud of network connectivity, right? So their deployment needs are different. Should we make that? I don't know. Should we make that a checkbox or a radio button, like for, air, ground, water, underwater, or is that too too detailed. And then manipulation versus mobile. I mean, obviously, we would like it if people fill out D and write a good description, but I'm wondering whether it's easier if we give them choices.
I think I don't think we need charts and groups of data to follow this. So I think it's okay to have free text, and then if we want more context from a particular respondent, we can look at their robot description.
All right.
So I think that's okay for now, and depending on the results, we could expand that out next year. Okay, I think we're there.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. I think we've expanded it, but not too much. And everything will be optional as well. I think I'll put that somewhere in the intro paragraph. Feel free to answer or ignore any questions you like. If you don't feel they're relevant to you, skip them.
And I think in Google Forms they mark the required ones with an asterisk.
Yeah.
People are pretty used to that.
Yeah, that's true as well. So as long as none of them are required, they'll know they can just click next. All right. So I think tomorrow I'll pull this all together into one Google form. I'll email you guys to say it's ready, and I'll post on LinkedIn and Ros Discourse to ask for some responses. And hopefully, next session we can have a look at some survey responses.
Thanks, Mike.
Sorry, I'm looking through my list. Where would cleaning robots fall in that industry? I mean, hospitality, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Actually, it depends on what they clean, right? If they clean floors in manufacturing or hospitals. Yeah, so okay, maybe that's actually not the question of industry, but what they do. They could do cleaning versus. Yeah, okay, never mind that. I guess
consumer is an option as well.
Oh, yeah. Whew. I wonder whether we'll get any responses on that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with that and see you next meeting. Hopefully we'll have some data to look at together. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.
Bye for now.